Okay guys, welcome to a new video. Shout outs today go to Joe Stevens 66, Miss Patel, hope your new year is going really well, Poppy Holler, Angarad Churches, who appeared to have subscribed twice, EM, and also the revised guy. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can hit the button below, and if you hit the bell icon next to it, you get instant notifications every time I post a new video. But more importantly, you will get a shout out next week in my next video. So today we're going to be having a look at Pokemon Go audience. Now before we get started, it's worthwhile looking at how we break down audiences. Obviously we know that we need to mention the age, but every time you talk about audiences, follow this up. Go for age, gender, where they sit on the ABC1 scale, and also, if you can remember, where they sit on the 4C system as well. This way you get a comprehensive, well-rounded look at audience, and you're going to make sure you hit any marks that are available for the question. Now, when we think of Pokemon Go, we might well think that the audience is fairly obvious. Obviously, we're going to be looking at a fairly young audience, so perhaps 13 to 18-year-olds, boys rather than girls, although the margin is going to be fairly small here. And because of their age, they're likely to be D to E on the ABC1 system. Most importantly, they're going to be explorers. They're going to be people who want new experiences, who want to get out and about, which is obviously a main selling point of the Pokemon Go game. Now, if this is our primary audience, our secondary audience are likely to be 25 to 40-year-olds because these guys are going to be parents, okay? And so because of this, they're also likely to be B to D on the ABC1 system and are likely to be mainstreamers, people who want to know what their child is getting up to and therefore are going to download the game or are going to monitor their interactions on their child's device. Now, Pokemon Go was slightly different because there was another audience that the game was sort of picking up, okay? And this audience were a tertiary audience, a third audience. They were 30 to 40-year-old men and women who were very similar in terms of the ABC1 system, in terms of the parents that were playing the game, but who were resigned. And the reason that they come under resigned is because this tertiary audience were fans of the original series. So they liked the traditional element to the game, the fact that it used all original 151 Pokemon upon release. So this is very much my generation, the people who were brought up on Pokemon, who were brought up on the series, on the trading cards, on the stickers, and on the original games for the Game Boy. So this makes Pokemon Go quite an interesting game in terms of the way that its audience is split up. Now, this all makes sense so far, right? You're all following me so far in terms of how these audiences are split up. Primary audience, the one that the company wanted to aim the game at. Secondary audience were the people who sort of picked up the game and who were going to be sort of drawn to the game because of the primary audience. And then the tertiary audience, the original fans. So if this makes sense, then it's quite surprising that in the first month of playing Pokemon Go, surveys and market data, market research found out that the main user of the game was 25-year-old white women who were highly educated and therefore had very well-paying jobs and would be A to C1 on the ABC1 system. Now, there's a few reasons for this. First of all, they may well fit into that nostalgia category, although they're slightly younger than myself and also fans of the original series. They could well fit into that sort of bracket. Another reason might be that they're one of the main users of social media, and obviously we've looked at Pokemon Go and we know that this is a game that holds a lot of social interaction. We might also have found this out because 25-year-old white women tend to be attracted to other brightly coloured, eye-catching, trendy sort of games such as Candy Crush when that came out. Now, this original audience has petered out slightly, and nowadays we find that the main audience are 18 to 34-year-old men, so smack bang between the primary and secondary audience that the game was aiming for. They're also likely to be D to E on the ABC1 system, and we'll come on to why in just a second. But the survey that was conducted by YouGov also found out that they were very unmotivated individuals. Now, some of the reasons for this in terms of that unmotivation could be the poker stops that are included in the game. We've spoken about how it's a little bit ironic that within a game that encourages people to get up and about and to move around, we've got poker stops right outside of places like McDonald's. So that could be one of the reasons. But it might also be in terms of the social context. It's very difficult to find employment opportunities today, and a lot of 18 to 34-year-olds might find themselves on things like 0 hours contracts, where perhaps they've got a lot of downtime where they're not actually at work. So this could be another reason for that lack of motivation. Now, if we look at that age range, that's a prime age category for going to new locations, perhaps moving away and going to university, finding yourself in a new area. So this could be another reason why that audience are drawn to the game. But ultimately, the 18 to 34-year-old bracket are those people who tend to be swayed by trend movement. And so that might be another reason why the audience has changed. Hopefully this video was really useful, just picking apart that audience in terms of what they're like and giving you just a really quick overview of who is actually playing the game, so that if audiences come up or if Pokemon comes up in that audience section of Component 1 Section B, you guys are aware of how to answer the question. Okay, so here are our key terms for today. Make sure that you use these key terms in your own work. Maybe make some note cards and see how many you can remember. If you would like a shout out like the guys did at the beginning of the video, make sure that you subscribe, hit the button below, and you'll get instant notifications every time I post a new video. If you've got any questions, you can pop them in the comment section below, or you can get me on Twitter at media_revision, and I will see you guys next week for a new video.